So welcome to Exodus 19, a nation married to Yah, with your host Richard Massey. I hope you guys are having a blessed day, and I hope and pray that whatever you and your family going through, that Yah gives you the strength to go through it. Continuing on with the subject, the acts of Yah. I'm going to watch how Yah moves in the last couple stories or episodes that we've been talking about, primarily showing how David handled himself and why Yah did certain things in his family, but he never touched David. How once Yah says something, good or bad, a lot of times he keeps his word. Because the Bible said that he's not a man that he should lie. And he never has to repent. If he says it, he's going to do it. So to me, a lot of times when he says certain things like that, he don't have to do something special for me, because he warned me ahead of time. So when he does, I'm totally grateful. But when he doesn't, I have to understand. Because a lot of times people will tell you that Yah's going to do these certain things. But a lot of times when he don't, you end up leaving the faith or becoming atheist or thinking that Yah don't love you. You start thinking he's not real, and maybe you'll join another organization. But he never promised certain things. It's just his mercy and grace when he does. That's why he says in the New Testament, when somebody gets healed, you're forgiven. Pick up your bed and walk. So, just something to think about. Let's go to 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel 24. And read this story of Yah. So I want to change this a little bit. Yeah, that's better. So let's read this. And it says, "And again, the displeasure of Yahweh burned against Israel, and moved David against them to say, go number Israel and Yehudah." So it says again, the displeasure of Yahweh burned against Israel. Yahweh was mad at Israel and moved David against them to say, go number Israel and Yehudah. So Yah made David do something that was going to then make Yah put a judgment on Israel. Think about that for a second. Since Yah was mad at Israel, he made David do something that was going to get Israel in trouble by counting them. 2, and the sovereign or the king said to Joab, the commander of the army who was with him, go please throughout all the tribes of Israel from Dan to Beersheba, and register the people so that I know the number of the people. 3, and Joab said to the sovereign and to the king, even if Yahweh art your Elohim does add to the people 100-fold more than there are, and the eyes of my master the sovereign see it, but why does my master the sovereign delight in this manner? So he's saying to David, and this happened with when he was sleeping with Bathsheba, and he was asking, who is she? And his men said, you know who she is? That's Uriah the Hittite's wife. So they're saying, why do you need to count Yah's men? These guys are not your own. That's not for you to do. But since Yah put it in David's heart to do it because he wanted to get back at Israel, David does it anyway. 4. However, the sovereign's word prevailed against Joab and against the commanders of the army. And Joab and the commanders of the army went out from the presence of the sovereign or the king to register the people of Israel. And they pressed over Yarden and camped in Aurora on the right side of the town, which is in the midst of the Wadi of Gad, and towards Yazar. Six. Then they came to Gilead, and to the land of Titim, Hoshi, and they came to Dan, Yean, and around to Tyson, or Zion. And they came to the stronghold of Tisor, and to all the cities of the Hivites and the Canaanites, and went out to South Judah as far as Beersheba. So they're going from city to city, counting everybody in Israel. And when they had gone through all the land, they came to Jerusalem at the end of 9 months and 20 days. That's how long it took them to count everybody. And Joab gave the number of the registration of the people to the sovereign, and there were in Israel 800,000 brave men who drew the sword, and the men of Yehudah were 500,000 men. Ten. And the heart of David smote him after he had numbered the people. Now he gets mad with himself. Now he's disappointed with himself for what he did. Now he realizes that he made a mistake. But I'm not going to yet let Yah off the hook. Yah put him in this situation. So here's a question for you. Could he had not done it since Yah influenced him to do it? Is this something that he could have overcame and turned his back on? Or was he set up because Yah made it so? Because Yah spoke it. So after David gets the numbers, the census of the people, he instantly regrets it. Instantly regrets it. 10. And the heart of David smote after he had numbered the people. And David said to Yahweh, I have sinned greatly in what I have done. But now I pray, O Yahweh, take away the crookedness of your servant. Take away the crookedness in me for what I just did. For I have done very foolishly. 11. And David rose up in the morning, and the word of Yahweh came to the prophet Gad, David's seer, saying, Go, and you shall speak to David. That's what Yahweh is saying to Gad. Thus said Yahweh, I hold thee 3 options before you. Choose one of them, and I do it to you. So Yahweh influences David to do something bad so that Yahweh can get the children of Israel for a judgment. David does it, right? After David realizes that he messed up, Gad comes to him and says, you have 3 choices for doing the evil that you did. 13. Gad then came to David and informed him, and he said to him, should 7 years of scarcity of food come to you and your land? Or would you flee 3 months before your enemies? Do you want somebody to start chasing you again for 3 months? Or do you want a famine for 7 years? Third option. Or should there be 3 days plague in your land? Now know and see what answer I take back to him who sent me. You got 3 choices. You got a 7-year famine for counting the people. A 7-year famine. You could be on a run from your enemy for 3 months, or you can have a plague in your land. Which one you want? Now remember, Yah started this, right? David's in the middle. Yah influences him. Question is, can David turn that influence into a negative by not doing it? So David has 3 punishments heading to him. And David said to Gad, I am in great trouble. Please let us fall into the hands of Yahweh, for his compassion is great. But do not let me fall into the hand of man, because man is evil. And I'm kind of surprised at that, because I would never think that David would think that man could be, well, that sounds stupid now that I'm saying it, because Yah can do some pretty powerful stuff. But David said, let us fall in the hands of man, because I don't want to fall in the hands of Yah. 15, and Yahweh sent the plague upon Israel from the morning until the appointed time, and from Dan to Beersheba, 70,000 men and people died because of this, because of when Yah was mad with Israel. 70,000 people died. And the messenger stretched out his hand over Jerusalem to destroy it, the angel. And Yahweh relented concerning the evil and said to the messenger who was destroying the people, it is enough. Now stop your hand. And the messenger of Yahweh was by the threshing floor of Arnon the Jebusite. So I wanted to talk to you about this, because this all came to me about how to pray. And the things that we do in our lives, a lot of times I think it takes its toll on our family and friends and community down the line. The decisions that we make. Now this one stands out because Yah is telling David to have David in a certain situation because he's mad at the children of Israel. And it might have to do, so I'm not going to even speculate on why. But you see how Yah had these men die? Like, I would look at the messenger, the angel, like something that you couldn't see. Could be a disease that was in the air and just wiped out all the 70,000 men. But let me take, nice. Let me take you to another book. Let's go to 1 Chronicles 21. 1 Chronicles 21. Because this is the same story in a different light. But let's look at the layout of this story. 1 Chronicles 21:1. And Satan stood up against Israel. Wait a minute. I thought that Yah stood up and had a displeasure with Israel. Right? And provoked David to number Israel. Don't this sound better? So do you understand that this is saying that in 2 Samuel 24 that Yah had a displeasure against Israel? But Yah created good and evil for this very reason. Right? Yah didn't specifically do the evil on Israel himself, but he has someone who can, right? So in the New Testament, when it says that they work together, I don't think they work together. I know they don't. But if Yah needs somebody to do something evil because somebody deserves to be punished, he's not going to get a righteous man to do it. He's going to get somebody who would love to do it, just like in Job. Yah wouldn't have touched Job's body and his family and his cattle, but but the devil would. And I know you saying, well, you said before the devil's not going around attacking us with health and death and all that stuff, and then you turn to Yah and you get, and he's not. But the devil needs permission. So the question to the game is, why is Yah giving permission for something negative or bad to happen to you or your parents or to your children? Was there something that somebody did before your time? A nation, ancestor, parent might have done something that offended Yah? Because remember when David slept with Bathsheba? How do you know that Absalom would have been the guy that he was if David didn't touch her in the first place? Because this only happened after David touched Uriah the Hittite's wife, that Nathan came to him and said, this is not going to touch you, but it's going to touch your family. Maybe it wasn't going to be the case before that. But this is a punishment. Because you messed with this man's wife and because you had that man killed, the baby that you and Bathsheba had is going to die. And then I forget the other son, he slept with Tamar, the stepsister, Absalom's sister. And then Absalom slept with David's concubine and tried to put himself in lead as the king, and went against his father and fought against his men. So how do you know that just David messing with Bathsheba, another man's wife, didn't turn the table on David's family? So then you see that Israel does something that displeasures Yah. So in 2 Samuel 24, it says that Yah calls David to count the people. But in 1 Chronicles 21, it sounds right that Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel. Because sometimes you take a situation like this that Satan is talking us into, that neighbor's wife, or whatever it is. Satan talks us into it because he's allowed to talk us into it. But we don't have to take it, right? We don't have to do it, maybe? I don't know. Right? But 2, it said, and David said to Joab and to the rulers of the people, go number Israel from Beersheba even to Dan, and bring the number of them to me, that I may know it. 3, and Joab answered, Yahweh make his people 100 times so many more as they be. But my lord the king, are they not all Yahweh's servants? Like, why are you counting them? Even though you're the king, these people are not yours. When our government does certain things, and our president does certain things, when our mayor does certain things, they cause the neighborhood to sin. When they allow and they pass a law that certain things can be done, they put a judgment on everybody. So if Satan is in somebody's ear to have them do a certain thing or have them pass a certain law and make it okay, that goes against the word of Yah, it's the same thing. People dying on the corners. People are now getting killed in broad daylight. You got road rage. You got the weather changing. You got the water tampered with. You got the food tampered with. The air quality is bad. People are dying of cancer and diabetes. You think these are different demonic judgments that's allowing these things to happen because we okayed things that should not be okayed? So here David numbers the people. But what could it have been to where we're living in a world that's happening today? Wars going on. Who okayed these things? Because somebody made a decision to make something okay, and now everybody's paying the price for it. So Joab answered, Yahweh make his people 100 times so many more as they be. But my lord the king, are not all my lord's servants or Yahweh's servants? Why then do my lord require this thing? Why will he be a cause to trespass against Israel? He's saying, why are you going to make Israel to fall into judgment? Why is politicians, why is government, why is the president, why do leaders make things that are against the word of Yah okay, and you make the people fall in judgment? Now the Bible says earlier in 2 Samuel, 70,000 men, right? Imagine communities. Houses can never be rebuilt. Businesses can never be sustained. Right? Because there's a judgment on them. So when we pray, instead of saying, I rebuke you in the name of Yahshua HaMashiach, we should be saying, what did I do? How can I change this? I'm repenting for me. I'm repenting for my parents. Something that my parents might have done. I'm repenting for something that my government might have done. I'm repenting for something my president might have done. 4. Nevertheless, the king's word prevailed against Joab. Wherefore Joab departed and went throughout all Israel and came to Jerusalem. And Joab gave the sum of the number to the people unto David, and all they of Israel were 1,000,000 and 100,000 men that drew sword. And Judah was 460,010 men that drew the sword. That's a lot of men that have no idea. Now, some of them might deserve it as far as Yah is concerned because he had a displeasure with Israel. And some of them men might have deserved it for something that they did. And some of them men might not even know what hit them and why. Seven, and Yah was displeased with this thing. Therefore, he smote Israel. Who smote Israel? Yah. But did Yah personally do it? No. Who did he have do it? Satan did it. Satan had to have permission because Yah was not feeling Israel at the time. I never understood why the insurance company says act of God. Because nothing can happen without him knowing it. And David said to Elohim, I have sinned greatly because I have done this thing that Satan told me to do. But now, I beseech thee, do away the iniquities of thy servant, for I have done foolishly. And Yahweh spoke unto Gad, David's seer, saying, Go and tell David, saying, Thus says Yahweh, I offer thee 3 things. Choose thee one of them, that I may go in unto thee. Because one of these are going to happen. So I believe, based on these situations, that a lot of things that's happening in our lives, and a lot of things that are happening in our families, are because of the stupid decisions that leadership has made. And when I say leadership, I mean leadership. Even if it's your grandfather, your great-great-grandfather or mother, your pop-pop, your dad, or you. We need to get on our knees and say that we're sorry for the dumb, because here's the thing. We knew when we did something at a certain time, we knew it was wrong. We knew that what we were about to do was going to hurt somebody. We knew that sleeping with that wife was going to hurt that husband. We knew that sleeping with this person was going to hurt her boyfriend. But because she looked good, because she said the right things, we did it anyway. And we knew that that woman was married and she had 4 little kids. We knew it. We knew that her husband loved her and that her kids would never want them to have to be apart. But because now that she did that, the family's not together no more. And here's the kicker. We also knew that we wasn't going to keep her in our lives. We have a demon type quality where guys on the weekend get dressed to the nines, they shine their car up with their boys, and I hate this. And you guys go to the club and you see this girl and you know you're not going to stay with her. You either have protected or unprotected sex. Later she gets the call if she's pregnant, and now you ghost her. You don't think you deserve a judgment on you? Man, I tell you, it's real out here, man. And a lot of times, man, we get stuff and stuff happens to us because we never knew that somebody in our lives set us up. People are doing stuff that they know y'all is totally against. And then you want to know when your child is sick, why your prayers are not being answered. So this is just a reminder that this podcast is also on Spotify and Instagram. I'm live on YouTube as well. So don't forget to like my page and to share my page where it applies. And don't forget to hit the notification button. And don't forget to subscribe as well. Shalom.